Sales report for Q1 by me, James Hawker. So lows of Q1. So the team being ill in March. April. I apologise. The team being ill in April, I think took a toll on all of us as a team and individually as well. I felt from a personal level, I found it hard working from home for so long. Being ill, at the same time, obviously made it even more difficult. But being away from the team, not being in the environment of the office itself, a lot of different factors because of us all being ill in April was definitely a low point for myself in Q1. Knowing as the quarter went on again, especially after April, that I probably wouldn't hit my target for the quarter was quite difficult. I powered on through because you have no option. Obviously, I tried to find other money in other places. Still kind of went around my job, making calls and sending out emails, doing my prospecting, things like that. But it did make it harder. As I say, the longer it went on, the more I realised that I probably wasn't going to hit it. But you've just got to kind of work through that. Getting used to the way customers operate, aka the speed they work and get back to me, and the same with the distributors and I suppose the vendors as well. It's an adjustment that's taken me a bit of time to kind of, again, get used to. I understand that, the distributors and the organisations that we work with will work on their own, timeline and at their own speed. But again, it has been a bit of an adjustment getting used to the speed that they kind of work at, especially, if I'm wanting to try kind of get it through so that I can, if you will, move on from it to concentrate on kind of other projects or other organisations or something else that I was wanting to work with this organisation on. I understand that they are busy, but so, them being slow to get back to me means obviously it's slower for me to be able to kind of keep the momentum and stuff. On a personal level, that was something that I've had to adapt to and get used to. But yeah, I'd say that the lows are a bit less than the highs when we get to them. Not getting the Education Southwest deal, that was one that we received relatively late on, not by anybody's fault it seems. We received the email from marketing, and it was Ellie's deal at the time. She was on holiday, so obviously I was her stand-in, if you will, when she was on holiday. She told me about it on the day that she received the email, so she couldn't have told me any quicker. I rung them straight away as soon as she told me, so not to kind of not take the blame, but basically neither one of us could have done anything any quicker than we already had done. But when I got in touch with the customer, he said that basically it had been done kind of 2 or 3 days ago, and that we were frankly too late for it. But again, something that you've kind of got to move on from.
I did hear about, you did a fantastic job of still trying to get a quote in there and trying to show the overall value outside of Adobe. I think, yes, that's part of your lows, but there were some positives that came out of that too.
Yeah.
You still chased him down, you still talked to him about a value proposition, and now he's part of your Rolodex, so
It's going to be on my highs as well. It was just, as I say, it was just the not getting that one, especially seeing as because it was Adobe, it would have been a decent amount of margin as well, but got over it quickly, and yeah. Again, lack of quality data. Maybe it's just from my sales experience before, but I'm used to kind of knowing that the data that I receive is going to have at least a name or two in it. 90% that the number's going to work or be a head office number. But again, that's unavoidable. That's the job that we do. Less support for lower seated accounts. Starting off with the bridge back in January. Because it was a smaller account, licensing were a little bit more reluctant, let's say, to get on board with it, which is fair enough. I totally understand it. That's, you know, the way they operate. But it does become harder, you know, to support the smaller accounts from a personal point of view. But yeah, obviously you don't want to take up too much time. Heiser Q1, getting the National Theatre over the line. I apologise, guys, because I know you're probably sick of me talking about it, but at the end of the day, you know, it was an EA. It's something that we tried to kind of get there, no joke, for lack of a better word, and obviously on a personal level, it was a high for me. Value adds added on with the National Theatre again. Obviously, since putting the EA through, I have kind of started to work with them on other stuff, such as their fast track. I've emailed them again today about talking about things like their Azure and the VMware, Dell, kind of things like that. So things are ticking along nicely. They're nice guys, and yeah. Not giving up on Dove House. Long story short, that was an account that was mine anyway. It nearly got taken by somebody else, one of the other guys on the floor, but me and Al fought for it. We had a meeting with the guy from Dove House as soon as we could, and then a week later, in the meeting he said that he didn't need anything from us. A week later it turned out that some of his licensing was up, and because we were in his head, it was easier for us to talk to him, and he took those. It was, 2 licensing, yeah.
Can you please highlight which agreements?
Yeah, that was, he didn't take the Barracuda because he went with somebody else, so that was the VMware and the Veeam licensing he took with us. Not a massive amount of margin, but again, I've had some good conversations with him, you know, he knows who I am now, we've had some decent talks and stuff like that, so it'll be beneficial for next quarter and further onwards. Getting some late meetings added on in the quarter. I was looking at maybe missing my meetings target as we went into May, but I have managed to come out the other side hitting my target. So again, after such a bad month in April, I think we all picked ourselves up and we really kind of smashed through May in our meetings. So yeah. Getting extra quotes out the same day for National Theatre. National Theatre emailed me at 3 p.m. on a Friday asking for some licensing quotes for basically before Saturday. He also told me that he was now leaving the office, so we need these quotes, kind of, if you can get it done, it would be appreciated. Thanks to Danny Bone, Joe Johnston, Faye, some other people, we managed to rather hectically rush around and get everything done. And then I received an email from him on Monday saying how incredible we were. So, awesome. So that was high for me and obviously for the whole place. And yeah, the teams meshed well in my opinion, not just obviously through Q1, but just in general. Again, ignore the March because it was evidently wrong in April, obviously, even though it was hard on us all. Again, I think the team's done well. My own personal figures. So I was projected to get 3,399. I finished on 2,991. So again, a shame I didn't quite get to the 3,399, but in my opinion, I did everything that I really could have done. I jumped on everything that I had, did things as quickly as I could, and next quarter is a new quarter, so it is what it is. I have 2 active customers, which is the National Theatre and the Dove House that I spoke about, and
these are customers that have transacted with you?
Yes, yeah, they're both customers that have transacted with me, and the National Theatre are continuing to transact with me. Dove House, I think will carry on over the next couple of months. I think we've got 1 or 2 things, including a managed service, that when he's currently moving house, so he's asked me to basically email him in a couple of weeks once he knows what's going on with moving house. But he was actually the one who mentioned the managed service and bringing in his colleagues. So he's very, he's kind of looking into that and very keen to look into that one. He didn't know about it before. That's one that me and Al kind of slipped into when we were in a meeting with him. So again, that if that comes along, then that will be from hard work really. Again, I've sent out 3 sales orders to 3 vendors, 3 suppliers. I have 2.99k of profit, 1.43k of revenue, and yeah, Again, 2 customers. It's been spread. Most of it is from Microsoft because of the EA. I've got £20 from Veeam Software and £8 from VMware, which is minuscule, but hey-ho. The £2,963 was for the National Theatre, and only £28 of profit or margin from Dove House. But again, from the licensing that they needed, to say that we got that was enough, I suppose. And
it's these, it's run rate stuff, and people agree with me. These contracts that go on for a year, 2 years, they're very sticky, keeps us in the accounts for a very, very long time, and also gives us the opportunity for any upsell, cross-sell opportunities in the future.
Sorry. So things I've learned and adjustments I will make. Companies, as I say, companies work at their own pace. I have to try not to be impatient, and it will get done in the end. Being impatient doesn't help the customer, and especially not myself. I think that's a big one for me. That's one that I really need to kind of adjust to. Again, if not just for the customer, more for myself, to kind of for peace of mind, if you will. Be more assertive on the phone. The more assertive I am, the more comes from it. I am strong on the phone from experience before. I'm very confident on the phone, but I need to learn and need to become better at speaking about certain products with customers. Right now I am kind of aiming at meetings with customers and trying to get an initial introductory meeting from them, which is fine. But if I can learn more about the products that they, the services that they might need in the initial call, then that would also, go a long way. Probe more in initial calls, is the same kind of thing. Be more organised is definitely a weakness of mine. I need to be more organised so that when I'm in the call, I have kind of less on my mind. That one's on me. I suppose experience. I have got better than I was originally, but I need to keep on improving on that, and I think I will. Be easier on yourself again in times of stress. This is my invoices by quarter, so again £2,991, both for charities and housing, because both of the organisations I've sold to were in charities and housing. This is my open opportunities. I've got something with the bridge that I still need to talk with them about. It seems that 1 or 2 of these CEOs are dragging their heels, so basically I'm just waiting on them to kind of get on board, and then I should be able to move ahead with that. Extra licenses for the National Theatre, they've asked me for those, and then you've got your Veeam renewal and the VMware renewal for Dove House. And then open leads, I've got something with the Fife Employment Access Trust, which is a SharePoint and managed service deal. So I've got a meeting with James Greig from there in June when I come back from my time off, so I'll be talking to him about that. Box to OneDrive migration with the York Travellers Trust. They had a bit of an issue before, so getting them on board is again, I suppose, a Q1 win. And I'm hoping that over the next couple of weeks/month that should begin to kind of start rolling. And again, I've got quite a few open kind of things with the bridge. I'm just waiting for them to stop dragging their heels, if you will. Finally, how I'll hit my target. I have deals in my pipeline that should go through this quarter, or at least start to get more traction. Education Southwest, they have their Adobe licensing coming up fully in August. So I've already kind of got in his ear, and I think I should get that, and the same with Microsoft licensing. Get into more corporates. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there, and I'm looking forward to getting into them more. Try to spread out the profit I bring in, again, to kind of take less pressure off me. That is my target and how close I was to it. And this is my MAL list. This is different kind of pages from my MAL list. So I've got green if I've got in touch with them and spoken to them, yellow if I've spoken to somebody but not the person I want to, and blue if I haven't spoken to anybody or got through to anybody. Red is if the account is going to be got rid of. The same obviously with my charities and housing. Charities and housing is where I've done most of my stuff. I seem to have kind of excelled the most on there. And yeah, sorry it took a bit longer than it should have done. I apologise.
That's okay. Thank you, James.